Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and to nobody's surprise that's paying attention, the iPhone 11 in all of its wonderment. I mean, look at all the cameras. Look at all the cameras. Pro tip, guys. I mean, if you're going to get a device like that, you can get something like this, 4 cameras, very nice, unlocked, a lot of great features, including an IR blaster for your remote controls. That's like 170 shipped to you, okay? And it does a lot of the things the device behind me can't. I'm not saying it doesn't spy on you because they all do. But if you believe that your smart device is not tracking, tracing, and databasing you on every single frickin' level, even if you swipe to the left for those privacy and location services, right? Say, no, I don't want to give up my location service. And you opt out of every single thing, which I do. You know, it doesn't matter. They still do it. If you believe that, you're believing some nonsense. Some Johnny motherfrickin' nonsense. All right? So, check it out, guys. Here's the deal. You know that basically most of these things getting broken into by security experts. They test everything. And in this one, they turned all the location services off and it was still pinging them. Why is that important? Well, let's look at it this way. You're already giving up all your metadata on your Snapchat, your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitter. I could continue. Your web browsing. Every single thing. And then on top of that, all of your calls and text messages are 110% logged by the National Security Agency and its subdivisions, okay, via the large networks that provide the service, such as Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, Sprint. They all work with them. Hepting versus AT&T proved they were doing this pre-digital era. If you think that it doesn't all get archived now, you are foolish. But what they really want is to ping your general location. Why is that important? Well, not only are they building a profile on you per se, okay? And all that's very real. And we're going to get into some really interesting but terrifying facial recognition data. You know that these things, they have the facial recognition unlocked, by the way. This one has it as well. It also has the thumbprint. That's not part of the case. I always put that over the thumbprint because I don't really want to give up all my biometric data all the time. All right? I know it's kind of foolish because with the face unlock, right, my face can be unlocked anywhere. If you think about it, for somebody like me, all they would have to do is get your phone and then put it up to a nice high-definition television or take a picture, and then boom, right there, it's over. It'll unlock it. Because it could still be tricked in a lot of ways. But when you get to the phone, your geolocation, we're talking about general populaces and their movement, what their habits are. Now they're building algorithms not only on the individual, but the individual, their family, their friends, their foes, their enemies, right? The people they don't like. The general population around. So that's what's going on there. And when I talk about facial recognition and convenience, right, it unlocks your phone. Well, last year in March, I was talking about how it was being used at U.S. airports now to check in. Should you be concerned? Yes, you should be concerned. Because it's obviously becoming mandatory, 100%. We'll get into that story in a minute. But for those that didn't know about this program, if you haven't traveled in a while, these were all the airports that included it. Atlanta, Boston, Chicago, Dallas, Fort Worth, Detroit, Fort Lauderdale, Houston, Hobby, JFK, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Miami, Orlando, Seattle, San Francisco, San Jose, Washington, Dulles, and Reagan. Okay? You understand? And the ones that were doing it, remember, this is all privatized. When I talk to you guys about transhumanism, and we will finish up that Cyborg 2050 document, I often talk to you about how this technology is what? It's accepted at a consumer level first. So everybody got really accustomed to taking their device and go, look at unlocks. Look at unlocks. Wow. Gee golly, wow. Right? Oh, I can now check in a little quicker. And no, it's an accelerated use. The more you use it, the more comfortable you get with it, right? And now, guess what? Homeland Security wants face scan U.S. citizens at airports. It's today. No kidding. Once they put it on that consumer level, man, you better believe it. They want to make it lockstep. Transhumanism is coming. They want to track, trace, and database every single movement that you make. Make no mistake about it. Beta tested in China. In a lot of ways, beta tested and fed to the public is so cool. And now it's really coming to fruition. Federal officials are considering requiring that all travelers, including American citizens, be photographed as they entered or leave the country as part of an identification system using facial recognition technology. The Department of Homeland Security says it expects to publish a proposed rule next July. And notice how they'll ease that in. Oh, it's only international travel. Doesn't matter if you have your passport and you went through our body scanner, right? No. We want your facial recognition. Don't worry, it'll be for domestic travel eventually. Okay, get ready. Critics are already raising objections. No kidding. So here it is. There's the movement. And, I want to just talk about how untouchable these companies really are. First of all, right now there's a shakeup. Larry Page and Sergey Brin are leaving Alphabet as their CEOs and giving the control over to Sundar Pichai. And let me say this. You see a lot of this movement within the organization. For instance, you look at somebody like Eric Schmidt, and now he's just like a consultant on the side, but he's still the face. Okay? And he's the one that's worked with intelligence agencies and governments, and very proud to do so. And remember, at Google, there was an uprising in the last couple of years of people that didn't want to work with the drone programs for the military and weapons. Remember that? Probably don't, because it wasn't in the fucking media. They barely gave it any attention. All right? And for the most part, they still ignore that. So these guys really, what they do is they move each other around for a thing called plausible deniability while they make all these moves. And they etch us ever further along in the globalist technopoly that is taking over. That is very real. That when like Andrew Yang talks about that and automation, you should be concerned. It doesn't mean he has all the solutions. But if you look here, look, they're criminals, man. 6 of Silicon Valley's top tech giants, and by the way, this is out yesterday, including Amazon, Facebook, and Google, have avoided paying more than $100 billion in taxes since 2010, new study claims. No shit. Many times, they don't pay anything in taxes annually, federally. Think about that. All this corporate welfare, all this subsidization, all right? Literally zero accountability for any of their mistakes, government contracts, military gigs, NASA connections, Google. Oh, it's no big deal. Google and NASA work together on their quantum computing program and have had D-Wave systems for quite some time now. No big deal. We won't talk about that. We won't talk about the coming era of AI and how it could potentially hurt human beings. No, we'll push a guy like Elon Musk to get people to get a hip and very cool brain chip, right? After all, if people will put up with putting on every security you possibly can. So here's the thing, like, I'll run a VPN on one of these devices, but I'm not naive. Why am I running a VPN on my phone? Well, for those that don't know, certain access to apps and streaming services are limited to certain countries. You get better prices somewhere. So let's say I want to go into my UFC app, right? Well, I can get the pay-per-view for about $18 if I VPN from the Philippines. At about $5 a month, maybe a little bit more for IP Vanish. You can find deals out there. Well, guess what? It's a lot cheaper for me to do that and then have all this other access than pay $65 plus through their paywall on ESPN Plus. I'm not naive enough to think that just because my IP address isn't hidden, that there isn't information that's leaking out, aka my general location, my GPS information, the fact that it's linked, the IP Vanish that's being used to my Google account, right? all the metadata that comes with the apps that are running in the background, et cetera, et cetera. This is reality. All right? So if you think that you can stop, your magic device there with the 3 back cameras from spying on you, no. They're expanding this. And it's going to continue to be expanded in just about every single aspect of our lives. We have to be aware of that right now and do what we can to regulate it and battle it. It's not hopeless. Cities like San Francisco are fighting the facial recognition on the streets. We have to fight it as well. And we have to fight companies like this that are purposely doing this and know exactly what they're doing to scrape this data. Guys, if you like the video, now's the time to thumbs it up, share it with others, subscribe to the Burmis Brigade, become a member that puts this information out there. It's not about left or right, it's about right and wrong. You want to check out all my work, Loose Change Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, my 9/11 films, and Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, Shade the Motion Picture. I would really emphasize checking them out, especially to understand the broader aspects of the Track Trace Database Society I talk about. You want to financially support me? That's how I'm doing it. It's Christmas time, guys. Let's hit that $5,000 goal. $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. I love you guys. Never about conservative, liberal, left, right, Democrats, Republicans. It's all nonsense. I was just listening to something where I wanted to puke in my mouth, where I was hearing, how terrible, again, the left is, and it's all the left, and they're Satanists and baby, eaters and rapists, and just the most unbelievable nonsense you could imagine. Support real journalism. I'm trying to do the best I can. I love you guys, and I will see you all on the flip side.